He's Blake. I'm Ronnie. All the Good Names Are Taken podcast. And today we're back for more Friday the 13th content as we bring you Friday the 13th videos every Friday until we get a good movie. Blake, how's it going?
It's going really well. How about you, bud?
It feels like we just recorded part 8.
Are you wearing the same shirt?
I'm wearing the same shirt. I want to keep it camp related. Are you wearing the same shirt? All right. So, Blake, last time we were with Jason as he went to Manhattan. And today we're talking about Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, which was the first New Line Jason Voorhees movie after they got the rights from Paramount. Now, I'm not going to claim to be knowledgeable of what exactly they bought, but I have read and heard that when New Line bought Friday the 13th, they were no longer allowed to use Friday the 13th in a title. They had to use Jason. That's the reason we got Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. And Jason gets some rude. So what are your first thoughts and memories of this movie when you first watched it back in night? I doubt. Did you watch it in 93 or not? Probably so. So
I did, yeah.
Yeah, what are some of your early thoughts of your first interactions with this movie?
I remember the tent scene really well. That stands out. I remember the chick from Roadhouse getting naked.
Denise.
Say goodnight, Denise.
Say goodnight, Denise.
I thought she was going to say goodnight in the intro of this movie. And I remember Jason not being in this movie very much. And after the rewatch, I was right. Not sure when this takes place. Not sure if this is connected to any of the other films. I'm sure we'll dive deep into that. But yeah, not really a fan of this movie, Ronnie. You got to respect them for trying something new, but don't call it Jason Goes to Hell. You know, don't call it
a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Don't make this. Just make that character anybody but Jason. And you got it. This is an idea, But I started to say don't call it Friday 13th, but they didn't.
This is what Child's Play should look like. Like Chucky should be trying to spit this demon. Maybe he is in some of these later movies that I've never seen and not going to watch. But Chucky should be spitting this worm demon into people's mouths, trying to take over their body and stuff like that. Blake,
don't confuse Jason with voodoo in Chucky.
And in the last movie, Blake, I told you as a kid that I knew exactly the moment when it hit my brain that this is not good. And in this movie, the minute that Agent Cunningham from Stone Cold picked up the heart and ate the heart, I was like, oh no, what have they done? Somehow it's like they made a bet and said, I dare you to do worse than Friday the 13th Part 8 as far as a story. And then somebody was like, here, hold my beer. I'm going for it. This is bad. The look of Jason is bad. The idea of swapping an evil spirit from one person to another, like you said, not a bad idea. I don't like it in a Jason movie. I don't like the fact that they give Jason a backstory with a sister we've never heard about. How does he have a half sister?
He has a whole damn family. And now, like the Myers house, now we have the Voorhees house. Well, I mean, like I said, I love throwing new stuff at the wall, but like all this at once, like a demon lives inside of him, a snake demon, a dick demon, whatever you want to call it. And then you got a sister, which sounds a lot like Myers' sister. And then you got this the Voorhees house. And Jason, if this demon gets inside of another Voorhees body, it's automatically turns back into Jason. So that makes you wonder, is Jason really Jason?
Or is it just a demon?
Or is it another Voorhees that got turned into Jason? You see what I'm saying? Like, what?
Yeah.
What
they
the
hell? They totally abandoned any kind of like, we're going to make our own mythology up. But I guess in a way you can say, poet didn't know it, that they were going
lay by the bay.
They're going for sorry, technical difficulties.
What happened?
I got to get wireless headphones. I got to get wireless headphones. I messed up. Anyway, they tried their own thing and it was horrible. I'm sure there's people out there that love the fact that the Necronomicon or whatever the hell it's called is in this movie. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. I'm, all these people that claim to be a Halloween purist that gives me douche chills. I'm a Friday 13th purist. All I need is a retard in a hockey mask running around the woods of Crystal Lake killing people trying to screw.
That's all we need.
And you're right. That girl in that tent was doing some work before he
She
tore her
was.
up.
Let me tell you something. Both of them. Give the guy credit too, Ronnie. All right, we
Doing
can't just be one sided on it.
work.
Putting in work. Okay. You know who that chick in part 6 needed? She needed this guy in the tent because he
Yeah.
was giving you 10 more minutes.
And they just tears
And
them apart.
he sticks a damn T-post through her and slides it up.
Which is a great kill. There's some good
kill.
kills. Yeah, I mean, that may be part of your good. Maybe we need to go ahead and get started. But there,
Give that kill to Jason. Don't give it to Rocky 5. God damn. Only in America.
Only in Crystal Lake.
Only on Friday 13th. God damn.
I'm a horrible movie watcher, so I never knew that was Denise until somebody on YouTube told me that was Denise at the very beginning of it.
You seriously didn't know that?
I didn't know. I mean, look, I learned it like years ago, but when I first watched it, I didn't know it was Denise. I'm used to Denise. Denise in my head has the hairspray hair. Yeah, the white hair.
Will you turn that crap off?
So
got no heart. I recognize those chesticles right away, Ronnie. Say goodnight, Denise.
Say goodnight, Denise.
let's get started, Blake. Or do you want me to start? What
do you want to do, good or bad first?
I want to do good, and I want to start. I always let you start.
Well, before we get into good and bad, let's talk about a couple of things. This intro, they had a couple of fake mirror scares. Did you notice that on the rewatch?
Yes.
A lot of ducking down, coming back up, opening the mirror, closing the mirror, and you expect, we're going to see something, someone's going to pop out, but they did like 3 or 4. I kind of like that. I thought that was really clever because, at this point we're all seasoned and veterans when it comes to the slasher horror scares, and they teased us right off the bat with like 4 or 5 of them.
So my first good, I loved all the shots of the lake and the moon and the woods at the very beginning of the movie. And I also loved the shots where they're building tension, thinking Jason is going to pop up. So it's glad that you brought that up because that's my first good. Blake just said it. She's closing windows. She's changing lights. She's taking a shower. And any moment you expect Jason to show up. I thought it was some of the best tension in a Friday the 13th movie since the original 4, 5, 6, movies until we actually see Jason. And she looks to her right or left, whichever direction it was, and you hear, oh, and then Jason's making noise. He's some kind of 8-foot wide tank. The mask has grown into his face. He's not a kid anymore from New York, and he's chasing her all around the woods. But for those first 5 or 6 minutes of this movie, it was really well shot. It was really suspenseful, and it felt like a Friday the 13th movie. It really did. Like I said, then it stops feeling like a Friday the 13th movie, ironically, when you see Jason, because it's ridiculous. All right, go ahead, Blake.
And that was your good?
That was my good.
My first good, I got Denise getting naked wrote down, but I'm just going to bypass that because we already touched on it. The Jaws reference by Duke, the character Duke, who's, what'd you say, Ronnie? Bounty hunter?
Yeah. He's the best character in the movie.
I can't remember that. Is he, though? Come on.
Well, let me put it this way. The best character in the movie is Pookie at the but no, what's his name?
You're talking about the in the diner, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I got some fries cooking.
Creighton Duke. I think Creighton Duke had a chance to be a really interesting character, right. But all they did was just give him a few lines, and then at the end, he's there to tell him about all the other bullshit. Anyway, I'm interrupting. You're good, so go ahead.
No, you're right. The potential was there, but it was just very poorly executed. I was going to say this Jaws reference that they did, Ronnie, and I'll be honest with you, I've never noticed this before. I don't know if it's just because I watched Jaws a lot the last 2 years, but when I watched this the other day, what's that?
Donna.
When I watched this the other day, and he's talking about going and getting Jason, but it's going to cost him money. He said something along the lines of, you pay me and you'll get him. You'll get the mask, you'll get the machete, you'll get the whole damn thing. And that's like right. That's like such a direct quote from what's his ass, Quint. Quint, yeah, he says something along the lines, "I give you the head, the tail. I'm drunk." So I like that. I like that little nod to Jaws that we get. That's my first good. Is Creighton Duke referring to Jason as Jaws, which there is some similarities there, being in Crystal Lake and being a shark out in the ocean.
Well, true. My next good and my last good is the character of Steven. No. Hold on. I'm not saying the character of Steven's my good. I'm opening it up by explaining the character of Steven is the final guy from this movie. He is the baby's dad of the chick in the movie. He wears a Letterman jacket that every YouTube video talks about. I mean, I think it's a show of confidence that he's still wearing a high school Letterman jacket 15 years after he graduated.
I'm going to call bullshit on that, Ronnie, because you wear that Letterman's jacket the day after high school, you're a loser.
Nonetheless,
the Letterman's jacket expires the day you graduate.
The character of Steven.
You actually put yours on the other day. You remember that?
I did.
And it still fit. How about it?
The character of Steven squares up with Jason multiple times, something most characters in this franchise haven't done. He's got a move he does at the police station, and we call it the John McBride. He's got the handcuffs behind him, and he sees his baby. He sees his ex-girlfriend, and he jumps up with his hands behind his back, and he comes with the cuffs to the front. John McBride invented this move back in the 1980s in Cannibal Campout.
He did.
But that was maybe the highlight of the film for me, is seeing the character of Steven pull a John McBride in that police station.
Yeah, I have that in my notes, Ronnie. It's a shame that people don't realize that that's what that is, too. The John McBride invented that move in Cannibal Campout. God, I wish he would. I wish he was alive.
I think he is alive. He went off the radar. Blake, do you have any more goods, Blake?
Yeah. I talked about Denise getting naked. I'm gonna say the fat waitress that's married to the that you like.
She is amazing.
The fat waitress says, "Get that effing baby out on the street."
You ain't touched that ray of sunshine.
So she had some of the best dialogue in the movie, just because she's I'm trashy just like she is, so I enjoy that. My next good is, it gets a lot of heat online that I've read the last couple of days. I like the slow-mo stab at the end of this.
Really? That gets heat? I can't imagine people online bitching about anything.
Well, I see it as a total tribute to the slow-mo decapitation of Mrs. Voorhees.
Excellent.
She comes running up behind Jason, slow-mo, and comes around him and gets him in the chest, and he slaps the shit out of her, and then, shit starts flying out of his body or whatever. But I don't know, something about that. I like that scene.
Here's a question. Duke lets us know that, and this may be one of your goods, but Duke is causing chaos all over Crystal Lake before he gets arrested by the cop, who I thought was Old Tex. But after I looked it up, it's not Old Tex. It's the dad from Critters. But I was like, man, I'm finna get to talk on this review about Old Tex as the sheriff, and he gets his nose busted. But anyway, he gets put in jail. But when he breaks out, he tells, I think her name's Jessica, or maybe the one that Jason goes up her coot is Jessica. Either way, whoever the redhead is at the end, he tells her through a Voorhees, or maybe he tells Steven this, through a Voorhees can he be born?
Special appearance by Pamela.
And through a Voorhees he shall die. So
look what you did to him. Look.
Jason can only be killed with a special dagger, a magical dagger, at the hands of a Voorhees relative. So we've got magic in this movie. Creighton Duke throws a knife at her, and she catches it, and all of a sudden it's this magical dagger. She stabs him, and he mentions it releases the souls. So my question to you, Blake, all those things shooting out of his body at the end are supposed to be the souls that he killed. Is it just in this movie, or is it over the entire franchise? Could the guy who got his face smashed in the shower in part 4, does his soul get set free? Does Rob from part 4 get his soul set free? Does the grandpa in part 5? Well, wait a minute. That's Roy. Never mind.
Or is it the souls that Jason has took over their body?
Oh, see, that's why I'm asking. That's why you're the best in the business. I don't know. Why do the bodies melt when the worm comes out of them?
I don't know. That was a really weird scene. It looked like it did not belong in a Jason movie, didn't it?
Oh, it looked like something that you would get in a possession movie or a damn space movie or whatever. And why wasn't that guy dead? He took a shot to the head. He should have been dead anyway when the worm come out of him.
I don't know. What do you think the town's more scared of, Jason or the?
I mean, that's immediately. They arrested him for eating. Everybody talks about John Rambo. All Creighton Duke did was eat, and they arrested his ass. And he allowed them to arrest him. He ain't like he didn't die on anybody. He just goes, "Look, arrest me. I can kill you right now, but I'm gonna go to jail and break this dude with the jacket's fingers." You got any more good, Blake?
Yeah, I think my last good is the thing that makes this movie. The reason people went to go see this movie is the Freddy glove at the end. By the way, is played by Kane Hodder, so he's credited as playing Jason and Freddy Krueger.
Good for him.
Yeah, the Freddy glove showing up at the end almost makes up for the whole piece of shit that this movie is, because you leave the theater or you leave, the viewing saying, "Wow, what does this mean? Is it going to happen? It's been rumored for years. It's going to be Jason versus Freddy. How are they going to explain it? Because they're both in hell. Wow, this is great. Blah, 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 blah." Because there for a while, it was all about versus movies. I remember playing one of the worst Super Nintendo games ever. It was Alien versus Predator. And literally, Ronnie, all it was you either pick the Alien or you pick the Predator, and it's a Mortal Kombat style battle.
Nice.
That's it. I mean, there's no story. There's nothing. It's just a battle. That's it. That's all you do. Versus movies were all the rage and all the talk at this time. So for them to pull that trigger to be able to get the rights to do all that and to throw in a laugh, I don't think it's Robert Englund's laugh, but to throw in a laugh there at the end almost salvaged this movie. You agree?
I know. My first bad, Blake, is the absurdity of this FBI sting at the very beginning of it. When Denise, say goodnight, Denise.
Say goodnight, Denise.
When Denise lures Jason into the wilderness, they have lights set up, they have cameras set up, they have action set up, and in a circular motion, they all shoot Jason. Jason starts screaming. Then they roll a grenade out there and blow his ass apart. Jason's in the woods. He's just appearing everywhere. He would have seen the FBI setting up this. Also, what if he would have killed Denise at the house? What was the FBI's plan if she hadn't made it out of the house?
Expendable.
I'm just saying, shouldn't they have been set up at the house?
You and I talked about this on the audio podcast, Ronnie. The cops and Duke being able to go into the woods without Jason knowing is already ridiculous enough. But for us to believe this is an FBI team, the cops and Duke snuck into the woods without Jason knowing. That's one. But we talked about it on the audio podcast. These FBI guys are in a damn circle shooting Jason. It just seems like there would be some Pat Tillman fire going on, don't you think?
You would think so. And why didn't Creighton Duke? Because Creighton Duke sees them blow up Jason. Why didn't? And he's in the woods and he goes, "I don't think so." Why didn't he just wander his little ass down there and tell them, "Look, guys, y'all have blown up Jason. He is now in a situation where y'all are bagging his body parts. Let's go find the Voorhees girl and let's let her stab this heart real quick. And then Jason's dead." Why wouldn't he just do that?
I don't necessarily have a problem with Jason making noises. I think we talked about it before. Which one is it? Is it Richard Brooker, Ronnie?
Yeah.
He gets stabbed in the knee and starts limping, right?
Mhm.
When he's chasing after Chris. And Right. The problem I have is that was when we still thought Jason was human.
Yeah.
Like, this is long after that.
Yeah.
We've seen Jason get shot by shotguns and all kind of shit, really. So for him to be, what are we thinking writing this in there? And if it was Kane Hodder's idea, then he's a short, dumb shit. And the way since when does Jason wear coveralls? Like, it's like, hey, Michael Myers wears coveralls. Let's get him some coveralls. Like, he doesn't. I mean, I guess you could argue he wears overalls in part 2.
And in 93, why would you be trying to mimic anything Michael Myers is doing? He's coming off the worst sequel ever.
I don't know. The whole look, people love like that his mask is just grown into his face. I don't. I think he looks stupid, but
Yeah, it looks like shit. Waterhead. My last bad. Jason's pretty much just this whole movie trying to kiss guys and he's shaving a guy. He gets a guy butt ass naked and he shaves him and then he kisses him. He's kissing guys the whole movie.
my next bad is the Jason Demon tying up naked men, shaving them, and puking on them. I don't get it.
And you know, Vincent Sonny would write this same shit too if he could get if they gave him a job. He wouldn't be like no quality control. He would agree.
They would say, Vinny, we're gonna let you do a movie, but you got to have this in there. He'd be like, all right.
Jason's got a cop. It's
okay. Just one. There's a line in this movie, Ronnie. I think it's right before our favorite tent sex scene.
The premiere scene of the movie.
You think you're ready for Tony the Wonder Llama?
We reenacted it last night, except without the T post at the end.
Unbelievable.
All right. So anyway, what were you talking about?
This movie grossed $15.9 million, Ronnie. Highest grossing horror movie of 1993.
Against what? What were the other horror movies from 1993?
There wasn't any.
Tor Johnson and the Octopus movie.
Candyman. It's a good question. Let me look up real quick.
I'm looking it up right now. You got Leprechaun.
Shit. Stupid midget.
Army of Darkness.
Did you know? In the movie Leprechaun,
there's a leprechaun.
He's not actually a leprechaun. He's just a midget.
All right. So you got Amityville, A New Generation. You got John Carpenter's Body Bags. I can't believe that didn't make $1 billion. Hannibal, the musical. Children of the Corn 2. It's got the chick from Days of Our Lives in it.
Hope.
No, it was. I think her name was Carrie. Dark Universe, Full Eclipse, Ghost McBraid. The good. How did The Good Son not get more than 15 million? I think your list is shit. And Cop 3, Badge of Silence. I know that made $50-60 million. Puppet Master 4. Tim can tell you that made $1 billion. Return of the Living Dead 3. Pigs. That made $1 billion. Tommy Knockers. That's another $1 billion. Witchboard 2. I think there's in that.
Tommy Knocker?
Yeah.
That's our buddy on YouTube.
Flipped his car because he's drunk.
Hey guys, I was drinking and driving again. Had a wreck. Come up with an idea. Favorite pubes from horror movies.
We love you, Tommy. Edit. Blake, who's your ugly?
It's got to be the lady that works at the diner.
Yeah, that's mine too.
It's got to be. She's married to a
got an ugly son.
She looks better after the fake Jason elbows her in the face.
Great death scene where Jason elbows her and it just takes all of her fronts out. A gruesome death because he takes and he puts his head down in the fryer. Now, look, you're probably getting upset that we're calling him but he became famous on social media acting like and before he died, probably from being edit. Mm-hmm. So there are some good kills in this movie, like the scene in the tent and the chick whose head gets slammed in the door. And you've got when the dude who is on hard copy or whatever the name of the show is.
Wow.
When he becomes Jason, he's the creepiest thing in the movie. He's creepier than when Jason comes back as stupid Jason at the end of it.
That guy showing dead bodies on his TV show is the best. That guy on the phone saying, yeah, I stole a Voorhees body. I stole her dead mama out of the morgue, planted her in the basement so we can find it live on TV. Then I went back to the hotel and screwed her brains out.
I love it. On that hard copy episode, they show Agent Cunningham a shot of him from the scene, and they show that little dweeb that got killed missing. How are they missing? Because or did he say they were dead? I don't know. Either way,
they show Kane Hodder dead on TV, live on TV.
Idiots. Yeah, the fat ass is mine too. Guys, hit us in the comments. What's your good, bad, and ugly from Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday? We tried to keep it as positive as we could. We're 9 installments into this Friday the 13th series. We hope you guys are enjoying them. Anything we missed, hit us in the comments and we'll talk to you about it. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that other stuff. And if you don't agree with anything we said, unsubscribe. Anything else, Blake?
That's it, brother.
Holla.